Hello and welcome back to Hyperplay. Anbernic have just released their unboxing video of the RG DS, and we thought this would be a simple take on how to lift up a cardboard lid, take off a foam insert, whack out a console, nice stylus and so on, and show you the rest of the bits and pieces in the box. Not very exciting, but this is an extraordinary video for a couple of reasons. The first one is wholesale pinching Nintendo's adverts from your Game & Watch. Utterly outrageous. Tetris into your Game Boy. That is naughty, Anbernic. But here is the console itself, and let's get into that unboxing, which is fairly standard. But stay tuned for some other bits and pieces that are not so standard. There is another extraordinary aspect to this video, and we shall bring you that very soon. Every RGDS comes with a stylus quite gloriously. Nowhere to house it inside the unit itself, unfortunately. Hey ho, 2 screen protectors. We wouldn't recommend applying those anyway. The screens should be safe and snug inside that clamshell factor. 3 colour options, we know them well. That red and black looks very smart. Love that shiny front faceplate. Piano gloss indeed. Turquoise blue, also incredibly popular. We think that one will be the most popular. In fact, still with the piano gloss, and so they say. Fine matte texture inside to get a bit of grip. Polar white, the closest you'll get to the classic DS Lite styling, but we think rather dull, but clean nonetheless. Take your pick, they all look very good. It's a big device. We have majored on that in our last video. Be aware that this is a hefty unit and will be pretty much the size of a DSi XL and very close to the size of the Ein Thor. Nice sturdy hinge. Some have raised concern that it's too sturdy. You can tilt it back to whichever angle you wish. It won't snap into 3 different viewing positions. You get to decide. Let's hope it's not too tight on the hinge barrel. And when you get down to 15 degrees, it will shut down very gently. So we think that the controls and the screens will be adequately protected for sure. No AYN Thor concerns with regard to screens bashing. And here are the screens. We know them. 640 by 480. They are not the brightest. You will need to use our screen hack in RetroArch to get the colours to pop. But don't worry about that. We've got you covered. Link in the description to get any game in RetroArch popping on any screen, even a mobile phone. So don't worry if the gameplay looks a little bit pallid. We can make that saturation improve massively. Anne's hands there, sporting a natty creamy pink nail varnish. We'll get on to what those buttons do. Obviously start and select down there, but very helpful Android button in the bottom left will get you into the front end. Gently caressing the side of the unit. Top-notch build quality, they say later, and we're inclined to agree. Anbernic have been in this game a while, albeit this is their first big clamshell. Inline shoulder triggers, not our favourite, have to admit. Consequence of the form factor, we would prefer stacked shoulder buttons, but you're not going to get it in a DS Lite-style device. Nice big battery, plenty of gameplay. And yes, the much maligned RK3568 processor. A lot of people think that that's a rather drastic choice, and it is, because it will only play DS games. Not all your 3DS, hardly any 3DS, shouldn't have put that, naughty Anbernic, but this graphic is much more the kind of thing that you can expect your RGDS to play. Let's get into it. 2 lovely touchscreens. We think the touchscreen functionality on both panels actually very good indeed, and they go ahead and show how you can sort out your applications on the opening page. You can then tap your buttons to get into your apps and hold down the app, hold your finger down on the app. You can swipe down in the traditional Android manner. We would say that screen doesn't look very bright at its brightest. We'll have to get our mitts on a unit ourselves and test that. Again, you can fix the brightness with our screen hack in RetroArch, but on the menus, perhaps it will look slightly dim. We shall see. Anbernic aren't the best at showing off their screens in the best possible light, as it were. Right, let's get into that Android button at the bottom left, because you can hold down that and it will flip you into the front end, showing off all your games. There we go. And we've trialled that recently on the fabulous RG476H, and it works very nicely for getting you into your games quickly. And speaking of games, It's going to be incredibly easy to customize how you want to play them, whether on the top screen or the bottom screen. Anbernic say that you can go into the drastic menu and mix up your shaders and adjust your image. We would strongly recommend using the RetroArch hack that we have done. Anyway, enough about that. We want to get on to the really amazing bit that we found later. So we've sped up this footage to 2x speed because we've seen that with the shader overlays and so on. And also Anbernic is showing the amount of faff you have to go through if you do want perfect 2x integer scaling, and it is a bit of a hassle. We think a lot of people will be perfectly happy playing the games at 2.5x resolution, but there we go. Also, they talk about 3DS games and they are in .cci format. As a whole, we'll read them well, but we do believe that's beyond the scope of this video, or certainly should be, because this is not a 3DS device. DS device, fine. 3DS, absolutely not. So we're zipping through this because we don't want to give the 3DS ROM aspect any credence whatsoever. This bit is important, however. The Android game functionality, often overlooked on these devices. You will have access to a range of amazing Android games, and you can map your buttons very easily on the Anbernic RG DS. Right, we are getting to it now, and we're going to go over this in a little bit of detail. Anbernic AI. Now, I despise AI as much as the next Luddite. However, what we've seen here is possibly the best use of it we've ever seen. Now we know from previous videos and devices that there is AI functionality to translate foreign language text very easily with the Anbernic AI that Anbernic seem to be installing on all their devices as a matter of course. So, untranslated Japanese RPGs, for instance, you'll be able to translate at the press of a button. All very good, and we do like it. However, this is a custom-built AI, and here you get one-touch recognition of your game. The console will scan the image of your game and be able to find instantly tips and tricks and guides for it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Pull across from the left and then touch that bottom left button and look at this matrix style scanning of your game just from that one image. The Anbernic AI will scan that image of your game and be able to point you immediately to the best content on the internet to help you maximize the most from it. Absolutely superb. You'll be able to pull up walkthroughs, guides, Reddit chat, hints and tips and tricks. And we are, well, our flabber is garsted, let's put it that way, because we think that's a real game changer. And if it can potentially read exactly where you are in the game and point you to the appropriate page of a walkthrough or guide or article, then that would be fantastic, because it would mean that you don't spoil yourself, for instance, when scrolling through your walkthroughs or guides. And think about the amount of time it would save for you to just immediately get the tip or trick that you are after on that particular game in that particular scene. Don't know if it's going to be that specific, but surely that's just a matter of time. Regardless, just the way that the AI could scan the screen and point you to a guide or walkthrough and the best of the internet. Absolutely phenomenal. Very pleased with that. Still motoring through this footage at ×2 speed. Why? Because we've seen it before. Nice to see it again, but there is nothing new here. What was new was the unboxing at the start. Pretty much what we expected. Tour of the device. Yes, I feel like we know it very well by this point. But that AI scanning, absolutely superb. Maybe we'll change our mind about AI. If it's going to quickly and seamlessly help us when we're stuck in an intractable JRPG. Absolutely phenomenal. Love that scanning. Well done, Anbernic. Well done, Anne's hands. Top-notch craftsmanship. Well, remains to be seen. Premium materials certainly looks good and glossy. Yeah, we are loving the look of the RG DS, having come around to it in a big way, and we know it's very popular. Will you be picking one up? If you do, please use our link in the description below. It's a big and beautiful device, and we may be one of the first, if not the first, to review it, thanks to a recent sponsorship deal that we have agreed. So stay tuned to Hyperplay RPG. Subscribe to us, join our merry band of followers. We're putting on 700 subscribers a month and rising. So hopefully we're doing something right. Do leave this video a like. It would help us massively. Please subscribe and take care. Many thanks for watching, and happy handheld gaming. Whether you're happy with the handheld you've got or you're scanning the market for a new one, all the best. Bye bye.